How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Chicago. Here we're checking out the bikes. This is on Lake Street. We're just west of Michigan. There's this parking garage that looks like a car there. I'm just missing the pink line going by there. They're doing construction. We saw it this morning. They had the steamroller out and the asphalt machine. But I'm starting just a little bit early today, 10 minutes early. And if I'm walking, I might as well be talking here. I thought about waiting until I got to the Federal Plaza to start this, but we'll show the construction progress here. And it smells like asphalt. There's the dealer's building, there's the steamroller. Yeah, that's what I want to get. Look at the steamroller here at work. How often do you get to see a steamroller? There's two steamrollers here. Fresh asphalt. We got the train, we got the CTA train above here. Lots of construction work on Wabash. Yeah, this is Wabash Street, loop of Chicago. So they're laying a fresh patch of asphalt on the street here underneath the L tracks. They're very complex. Look, we got the water. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's great. That's awesome. There it came in. So, hey, they got the water there. There's steamrollers cooling everything down, hot asphalt. Yeah, this is a hot job. Look at these guys that work in here. I can feel the heat. I can feel the heat coming off the freshly laid asphalt here. The smell of tar, Wabash Avenue. We're down here by Randolph. And that's Marshall Fields, the old Marshall Fields. Now it's the Macy's. Look, they got to work around the manhole covers and sidewalks and curbs and everything. Hey, how's everybody doing there? A&H, Anik, Chris, Brent, Scott, Michael, Carolyn, Krista, how's everybody doing here? Yeah, let's get across the street here before I trip on the sidewalk. Crossing Randolph Street, lakes that way, Millennium Park. We saw the bean this morning, so we'll here comes the brown line here. So they're still working on the road here. We'll get the brown line going by Wabash, loop of Chicago here. Wabash Street. Look at that. Look at this beautiful architecture all around us. Wabash is one of my favorite streets. They got this amazing skyscraper canyon, vintage skyscraper. You got the CTA elevated train tracks. You got amazing vistas in both directions. And they saved these facades when they built the housing behind there. Diane, how you doing there? Yeah. Wabaluba. London, how you doing there? Hey, Matthew, Chris, yeah. So yeah, a lot of times city workers, they'll put that in their window there so somehow their cars don't get towed if they put the... So I actually have some of these from working construction, you know, on construction job sites. So I guess if I rent a car, I could just put that in the window and they'll think I'm a city worker here. Heaven on 7's gone. That old restaurant there was a great New Orleans themed style Cajun cuisine place. They actually had multiple locations at one time and they're all gone. Got some wind here, but if you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're going to head down to the Federal Plaza, and I guess I'll get off Wabash here. We got to go over to Dearborn and Adams. I don't know if Ernie's there already. Ernie's going to be streaming on TikTok. I'm going to be streaming on YouTube. I think there's a demonstration planned at the Federal Plaza there for support of federal workers. It might just be a few people. It might just be a few dozen people. Or it could be really large. We've gone to some of these things before, and you never know how they're going to go out. And if nothing's going on, we'll just keep on walking, you know. And yeah, best city in the world there, Chicago West. How you doing there? Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Tony. How you doing there? Michael Rodriguez. Yeah, we got Rick from London there. Yeah, London's tuning in. You ever watch About London? She streams there. She's got like 1 million followers. There's the Muddy Waters there. He's poking above the Primark there. 7 on State. They got a food hall. You go up to the Walnut Room. People know at Christmas time, it's a tradition in Chicago to make reservations at the Walnut Room, and for, you know, around holiday time they have the Christmas tree up there. Seems like just yesterday we went there for last season, and we'll have to go up there again pretty soon, but we're not through Halloween yet. There, let's see if we get the light. We're on State Street. If so, we'll check out the skeletons. We saw some of the skeletons this morning. This is Macy's, the old Marshall Fields. Here's State Street. We went by the State Street. I already posted that from yesterday with Ernie. We saw the Rocky Horror Picture Shows coming to the Chicago Theater. Here's Block 37. Hey, look at that, the beautiful Reliance building here. And yeah, let's see if we can get some of these skeletons here. There's Muddy Waters. Oh, look at that. Look at the sun coming through there. Wow, the sunbeam's coming right into your phone there. There, we'll cross, yeah, get some Garrett's popcorn. Yeah, Garrett's popcorn's all over. We passed it this morning on, there's one on Michigan Avenue. I think there's a Garrett's popcorn on Randolph, a block north here, if you go over by the Netherlander Theater. Here, let's see if we see any of these skeletons here. The skeletons. Yeah, the Pineapple. You can stay at the Pineapple Hotel here in Nordstrom Rack. See the Reliance building, 32 North State, one of the early vintage skyscrapers in Chicago, steel frame construction. So look, they took this skeleton down, and it's because somebody knocked off the head. We saw it this morning. There were two skeletons where somebody knocked the heads off of it. We saw there was a new one I didn't catch the last time, the woman in the dress there. There was a skeleton, these skeletons on stage. You know, people have the same problem with their Halloween decorations. They'll set up a nice Halloween display, and some kids will knock everything down as a prank. I guess that's what trick or treat's all about. I don't know. But at least we filmed them while they were here. And, yeah, what a bummer. See, we can't have nothing nice. This shows you why we can't have nothing nice. Hey, it's the city of Chicago, Shane. Shawnee, the great gamer there. How you doing there? So here, we'll go Madison and State. There's the Gothic Target. We were there this morning. There's State and Madison, Loop of Chicago. That's now, yeah, it's the Gothic Target. It used to be Carson Prairie Scott. So, yeah, we'll head a little further down on State Street. Yeah, Louis Sullivan. They now call this the Sullivan Center. It was Carson Prairie Scott, built just after the turn of the 20th century. There, 1902 or 1905, around there, 1903. Look at the giant windows, the Chicago-style windows. More window than wall, steel frame construction. Louis Sullivan has his amazing cast iron, wrought iron ornamentation here. Here's the subway, red line. If you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're heading down to the Federal Plaza. There's supposed to be a demonstration in support of federal workers being impacted by the government shutdown. And the federal courthouses are all around there, the Calder statue. Again, I have no idea what's going to be happening here. This little birdie told me that something's going on here, so. Yeah, Vikas, how you doing there? S-H-A-W-N-A. Thanks. Let's see if I respell. E is a unique person there. So it's like Sean. Okay, Sean. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for helping me out there. I appreciate it. So Sean, thanks for tuning in there. You got, yeah. So the Five Below, I'm sure, has Halloween stuff there. You can get your big inflatables and costumes. I don't know much about Five Below. I think it's
so maybe they
marketing for college kids, college age students. So there's the CIBC Theater. They got the Book of Mormon. There's the CTA train tracks there on Wabash. Yeah, let's head over this way. We're at Monroe and State. These buildings are amazing. Look at the quality of the commercial buildings that were built over 100 years ago here, and the detail. And these are both of these buildings on the historic register. Look how they got owls. They got owls on the awning there. Here's the CIBC Theater. But look at this terracotta. They got it fixed all the way up here. These amazing commercial. And here's the Inland Steel Building. We talk about it, mid-century modern. You see how the elevator core is there, no windows. All the elevators and the utilities and the bathrooms are in there. These is open floor plates, so you know that was a new concept at that time, and it still looks pretty modern, even though this building goes back to like the late 1950s, early 1960s. And see how it doesn't have a column on the bottom there? It's kind of like a bridge into the sky. But there's the Chase Bank building. They're redoing the plaza here, where the Marc Chagall mosaics are. We'll head down to the Federal Plaza here. Well, it looks like there's a few people over there. I don't know. I can't tell yet. I can't tell if anybody's there or not. Do you remember beginning of May, around just before Cinco de Mayo this year, beginning of May, there was a Star Wars themed protest that we went to on the weekend. It was about 24 people there. So it wasn't that large at all. And that was more about like Elon Musk. That was like against Doge. But now we're into the government shutdown phase of, along with ICE, a lot of ICE protests, a lot of, yesterday, look at the Bud Light. Yesterday, Ernie was covering, there was a pro-Palestinian protest across from the Israeli consulate, and there was people in support of Israel on the other side of the street, and Ernie was in the middle with the police, and the police were like, get out of here. Not to Ernie, to like the, you know, they didn't want both sides to fight. Hey, there's a few people under the Calder statue here. We got noon, there's a tour going on. They're talking about the Marquette building. We went in there yesterday. We were right in this area. See, I'm repeating my footsteps here. Here's the Federal Plaza, Chicago, Illinois. We'll see what they got to say here. If there's any speakers, the media might be here. And again, I'll cover this as neutrally as possible. We're going to get reactions from the left and the right and people that are angry about this. I got moderators. Just don't make things personal. I know everybody has an opinion about what's going on here. We know there's trolls and people will just nihilists that just want to make fun of everything and cause problems, not give us any solutions. Here's Burkhoff's. This is Adams Street. We'll cross Dearborn here. Here's the Federal Plaza, the Calder statue, Kuczynski and Dirksen building. These are federal courthouses, and there's a lot of federal offices here. There's a federal post office, and that's why this is a protest in support of federal workers impacted by the government shutdown. And, you know, both parties are to blame because both parties could not compromise. One side will try to blame the other, but we all lose. So here, let's see what they got to say here. Federal Plaza, Chicago, Illinois.
Tribute or use your lower third, please use their union titles. They will say it and spell them at the beginning of their speeches. So please use their union titles, and it's okay. They can be identified as a federal worker, but they, again, are not speaking for the agency that they work for. Thank you. And right now, I'm going to bring up Jason Anderson.
There's Chewy Garcia.
Jason, I'm a national vice president with the American Federation of Government Employees. And I want to first start off by thanking everybody who is here today, starting with the elected leaders. We have Alderman Scott Waguespack, Representative LaShawn Ford, Senator Javier Cervantes, Representative Delia Ramirez, Representative Chewy Garcia, Representative Jan Chakowski, Representative Sean Caston, Alderman Mike Rodriguez, Representative Kelly Cassidy, Senator Laura Fine, Alderman Byron Cicho Lopez, Representative Teresa Ma, Alderman Brendan Riley, and Commissioner Jessica Vasquez. I also want to thank all of the labor leaders and rank and file members that are here. I want to thank the media who is here, who can help deliver this message that we have, this important message to the American people. We're here today to talk about the shutdown, the government shutdown. We're here to talk about the calculated attacks on federal workers, labor, and the American people, how this government shutdown affects the American people, how it affects the federal workers. We have a great list of speakers here who are going to talk to you about how it's impacting them and their agencies. And we're going to start with Lori McCann, the National Treasury Employees Union, Chapter 10 President. Laurie McCann, thank you.
Hey, Chicago, Illinois, Federal Plaza.
Good afternoon, and I just saw Congress. Yes, Laurie McCann, LORIEMCCANN, and thank you, Jason. And I also see Congressman Davis that was able to attend today. So thank you so much for all of your support. So I, as Jason stated, I am the president of NTEU, National Treasury Employees Union, Chapter 10. NTEU covers 38 federal agencies and departments. Chapter 10, we represent Internal Revenue Service employees, including those in this building right here. So thank you so much for coming out today. I'm going to keep it short and just want to say that there are committed federal employees who are ready, willing, and able to honor their oath and just want to work. I'll tell you a little bit about IRS employees and some of the things that we do. As IRS employees, we help taxpayers to file their tax returns. We answer tax questions. We process returns. We help taxpayers resolve issues with exams and audits, appeal, tax courts. We do all of that. And we actually implement the tax laws that are passed by Congress. That is what we do. Normally we do it every single day. I will tell you that today, this morning, employees received furlough notices, including me. So we had an extra 5 days of funding and we received our notices today. This is very concerning for not only myself, but all of the employees that I represent. So I just want to say that. And one other thing, just one note. Everybody knows about April 15th, right? That's when the taxes are due. But guess what? There's another due date on October 15th. These are for taxpayers that file extensions. What's going to happen next week? I don't know. I don't know if you know. I don't know if our members know. We don't know what's going to happen next week, but just wanted to make you aware of that. The last thing that I want to say, so I can keep it short, we got a lot of really great speakers, is this. We're not asking for a lot. We're not asking for much at all. What we are asking is that the members of Congress do their jobs so we can do our jobs and help American taxpayers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lori. I also want to add, and I apologize, but I left off some really, really important, some true allies of the American people in labor, Representative Danny Davis and Representative Lauren Underwood. Please accept my humble apologies. They're standing front and center. They're here with us, and they're here with you as well. Our next speaker is Colin Smalley. He is the International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers President. Colin Smalley, thank you.
All right, good morning. I'm Colin, C-O-L-I-N, last name Smalley, S-M-A-L-L-E-Y, and I am president of IFPTE Local 777. We represent workers at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in the building behind me. And I'm here as a public servant because I have a family legacy of this. I have a great-great-grandfather who worked for the Postal Service on the Railway Mail Service. I have a grandmother and a mother who are teachers, public teachers, and so public service is important to me. It's important to most of the members that I represent. We're here oftentimes making less than we could in other jobs in the private sector, but we're here to serve our communities. We're here because we believe in the concept of community. And this lapse in funding, this shutdown, is an escalation of a trend that already had started. We were already seeing this shutdown when they defunded the Department of Education, when they were defunding NIOSH that protects workers in every workplace from workplace hazards. We've been seeing this shutdown starting to boil, and now here we are at another place where they're making more illegal steps, making more threats of breaking the law again on the backs of federal workers, their families, and the communities they serve. And so this isn't just a shutdown, it is a power grab. That's what we're seeing. They're trying to replace the public good with private profit. And that's not democracy, that's corruption. We took an oath as federal employees to serve the Constitution of the United States And we are standing together, many of us unpaid, but all of us unbroken. And it's because what we're fighting is not just about us, it's about our communities. We are protecting the public good from these power grabs. So what we're asking the American people and the members of Congress to do is to stand with workers who stand with their communities. Protect our services that we're here doing every day and defend our democracy, because we serve everyone, no matter who they are, not the powerful few. Thank you.
Hey, Chicago Federal Bars.
Thank you, Colin. I have a couple more elected officials that are here. Hanover Park Trustee Yasmin Bankoli, thank you for being here. And Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison is also in attendance, supporting federal workers and the American people. I'm going to pass it off to our next speaker. It's Brent Barron. He is the American Federation of Government Employees Local 684 President. Thank you, Brent.
Woo! My name is Brent Barron, B-R-E-N-T, B-A-R-R-O-N. I am president of AFG Local 648, Jason. I worked in this building for 25 years on the 8th floor. My coworkers are up there looking down on me because we're required in my agency to continue working without pay. All right, without the knowledge of when they will be paid. Okay, I am also speaking as the national president of the National Council of Field Labor Locals. I represent the 7,000 employees who work for the U.S. Department of Labor outside of Washington, D.C., that work for OSHA, work for MSHA, work for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, work for Wage and Hour Division. So I'm speaking on behalf of two entities today, my local and my national union members. I want to read a statement to you. Nobody wins in a lapse of appropriation, whether you are still working as an accepted status employee with the knowledge you do not know when you will get paid, but are still incurring expenses, are in a furlough status and do not know when you will get called back. On top of all the anxiety that federal employees are being put through right now, we now have the added threat of mass rifts and wholesale cutting and gutting of agencies and government programs. To add to all of this nonsense and chaos created by this current lapse, we now have the White House issuing leaked statements that call into question the very law that was passed in 2019 after the last major lapse in appropriation that lasted 35 days that guaranteed all furloughed employees would get paid. Well, now the White House is questioning whether or not that law applies now, putting doubts in the employees' heads about whether anyone who was furloughed will ever get paid after October 1st. This administration is clearly flying without a net and winging it as they go along, as they pursue this very dangerous path where there are no winners and there's only continuing anxiety, fear, and uncertainty of anyone's future with their respective agency or career. And the American public is left to figure out all of this on their own. As federal employees, we swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, to serve the American people, meeting our agency's mission. Well, this is no way to run a government or provide those critical services to the people that we serve. Our elected leaders talk a good game about eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, this is nothing but waste, fraud, and abuse. Take it to the next level. I'm here to tell you I've worked for the government for over 35 years. This is the first time in my federal career I have been furloughed. I'm sitting at home without the understanding when I will go back to work. I'm with thousands of other federal workers sitting out here not knowing when we will go back to work. I also empathize with the people that are still working without the understanding of knowing when they will get paid. They're going to work, they're incurring expenses every day, not knowing how they're going to pay those bills. I'm calling on everybody to stand with the federal employees in this country and end this shutdown. Let's get back to work and do what we are supposed to do. Thank you very much and have a good day.
All right. Thank you very much. We have two more elected officials that are here. I want to let you all know that Anna Valencia, the Chicago City Clerk, is here with us. And Representative Raja Krishnamurthy is also here, so thank you for joining us. We're going to say Representative Jan Chakowski again because she deserves that. She's been a champion for the people for so
Jan,
long. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Our next speaker is going to be Jill Hornick. She's AFG Local 1395 Administrative Director for Field Offices.
Chicago, Illinois Federal Plaza here, October the 8th, 2025.
Good morning and thank you for being with us today. As the Administrative Director for AFG Local 1395 for the field offices and the teleservice center here in downtown Chicago, our members and the employees in our bargaining unit represent an incredible amount of talent and caring and compassion, and they serve the American public day in and day out. They take care of you in some of the worst times of your life, when you're filing for disability, when your spouse has died and you're filing for survivor benefits. And today, they are finding out how little is going to be in their paycheck this week. They are devastated. When they were hired by the government failed to tell them part of the job is to become a chess piece on a board that you don't control, that you are agreeing to become an indentured servant where you will be forced to work without pay. I don't know how many of you can go without a paycheck and still get to work. So it's going to come to employees, and not just in Social Security, TSA, Department of Labor, EPA, any agency that still is forcing their employees to work, they're not going to have the money to get to work. And who's going to also pay the price? You. You are not going to get the services that your tax dollars have paid for. And heaven forbid, if you need the government in a time of need and the government is shut down and can't help you, you deserve better than that. So let's end this shutdown.
All right, thank you, Jill. We have two more elected officials here in attendance. Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller out of the 6th District, and Cook County Commissioner Alma Anaya, I apologize, she's the labor chair as well for the Cook County, and it's District 7. Our next speaker I want to introduce is Representative Raja Krishnamurthy.
Hey, Chicago, Illinois Federal Plaza.
Thank you so much. First of all, hold the line and don't surrender. Are you with me? I want to say a big thank you to the unions. Look, they're getting hurt, but the American people are getting hurt as well. Veterans aren't getting their benefits.
People come from all sides.
Parents aren't getting their child care. Cancer patients aren't even getting their clinical trials. And so while we are here in solidarity with unions, we're here, all of us, in solidarity with the American people. Second point, this particular shutdown is not it has not been done out of accident. This is not an accident. It is done out of choice. The Republicans and their allies and Donald Trump are basically engineering the shutdown to punish workers, punish families, punish anyone who doesn't bow to their political will. And under the guise of this shutdown, they are also going after clean energy projects. They're going after public transit. They're going after an agenda that the American people want us to pursue. And so the third and final point is this, which is we are not going anywhere. We are not going to surrender. We're not going to bow to their political will. We're going to make sure that they're held accountable for what is happening. And that means it's time for the Republicans to come back to the table. Stop the hostage taking, stop the games, and do your jobs. The American people want their government open. And to every worker here, to every family here, waiting on a paycheck, to every American shut out of the services that they so deserve, we see you, we stand with you, we're going to continue to speak up for you, we're not going anywhere. Remember, do not surrender, hold the line. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Hey, thank you to the Chicago Federal Plaza.
Our next speaker is Representative Chuy Garcia.
Good afternoon to all the federal workers that are assembled here rallying
for an end to the shutdown. We knew when we got a glimpse of Project 2025 that Donald Trump and Russell Boyd's plan was to dismantle agencies that provide critical services to people from all walks of life all over the country. And the end result so far has been about 150,000 federal workers have been pressured to leave their employment and take offers, and it's disgraceful because you can't replace 150,000 experienced, seasoned workers who are committed to being good civil servants and think that nothing will happen. Today, the shutdown is the next phase of that dismantling of the federal workforce. We're here today as members of Congress, elected officials, other supporters who are here today to say that we want the government to reopen. And what we're saying is, let's sit down and have a bipartisan agreement. But at the same time, we say we leave no American behind and no one should lose their health care because you want to shut the government down and you want to cut the social safety net of our people across the country. And that's why we are here today, because this affects real people's livelihoods, people who live paycheck to paycheck, whether they work in Social Security, whether they work at TSA or the airports or our air traffic controllers, or whether they're food inspectors or EPA workers. All of them are important. And let's also remember one other thing. You know who got about $175 billion? The people that are terrorizing working families and communities like the ones that I represent in the United States Congress. Right now, I was looking at the sky to see if there were helicopters up there because I see them, my wife sees them, my grandson sees them each and every day in our backyard, hovering over us. That's not the America we know. We want America to be working. We want America to be prosperous. We want everyone to be cared for in our country, and that's why we're here today. The priorities are misplaced. That's why we say, let's sit down, have a bipartisan agreement, and reopen the government so that our working people and our civil servants can do their job and make America a better place for all. Thank you.
Well said. Our next speaker is Representative Sean Casten.
So thank you all so much for coming out. I'm so proud to be here with my colleagues. I am even prouder to be here standing up for all of our government workers, but I am most proud to be standing with our government workers who fight every day for the American people. These are public servants. These are people who have dedicated their life to Abraham Lincoln's proposition that the purpose of government is to do for the people what they cannot rightfully do for themselves. Now, the party of Lincoln may have a big problem with everything Abraham Lincoln stood for, but I can tell you that the land of Lincoln sure as hell has not.
Yeah.
We are here today for the really simple reason that every single member of Congress knows that by the end of September of every year, we have to send 12 appropriations bills to the president. Since the Republicans took power 10 months ago, they have sent 0 bills to the president because they spent all their time stripping health care away from the American people, getting rid of those functions of government that work, because they find it harder to stand up for the American people. Well, they find it easier not to stand up for the American people than they do to stand up to a child predator. That's why we're here today, right? So to the federal workers, I want to point out a couple things, because we are also standing up for the law here. The Anti-Deficiency Act says that you cannot fire federal workers during a shutdown. That is the law. Right? The Hatch Act says you cannot compel federal workers to politicize the problem that you created because you weren't fit for your job. That is the law. And the government, I'm going to get this name wrong, but I want to get it right because he signed it. The Government Fairness Act, signed by Donald Trump, says that you cannot not pay workers after a shutdown for the time that they were furloughed. Those are the laws. And I want to be real clear with everybody who's here. If those bastards break the law, there's going to be accountability. Thank you.
Hey, Chicago Federal Flash is here.
Well said. And we have a special guest here. Governor J.B. Pritzker is joining us.
Wow, J.B. Pritzker.
We are so honored to have him here with us.
J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois here. Welcome to Chicago, Federal Plaza here, October the 8th, 2025. There's J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois. There's Cherry Chewy Garcia.
Want me to say a few words, Governor? Oh, okay.
Well, I'd like to say it's good to see everybody, but the occasion here is not good. And I want to say to all of you, thank you. Thank you to all of you who are standing up and speaking out, especially in this moment when Donald Trump has not only closed the government, but also is threatening to take away your paychecks. So to AFGE, to Jason, to the leadership, and to all the members, we stand with you. The state of Illinois stands with you. We believe that Donald Trump is doing this, we all know, to take away health care from people across this country. And because he wants to give a massive tax cut to the wealthiest people in the United States. What do we say? No. What do we say? Hello. Folks, we are going to be here standing up for the rights of working people across this state and across this nation until Donald Trump backs down. We know, he says, by the way, that he wrote a book called The Art of the Deal. We know he really didn't write it. But he says he's the greatest deal maker in history. Well, then he should step into the room and negotiate and give people back their health care. Well, finally, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the working people of Illinois. Thank you to our government employees. Thank you to our federal government employees who are standing up and speaking out. We are with you. We're with you in this fight to the end.
Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, here at Federal Plaza, Chicago, Illinois.
Thank you. All right. Our next speaker is Congresswoman Delia Ramirez.
Let's call it what it is. Republicans want us to be uninsured, they want us to be unhoused, and they want us to be unemployed. Over the last 9 months, Trump and Republicans in Congress have been very clear about their priorities and the pain that they're willing to inflict on the American people just to benefit their billionaire bosses. They have cut our health care, they are closing our hospitals, they are laying people off, they're stealing your bargaining rights, snatching our loved ones off the street, and driving our costs up. What part of that is golden age for the American people? None of it. None of it. And they're using federal workers as pawns for Donald Trump's political games. That is unacceptable. It is why we're here today. Federal workers have been attacked since day one, and they are the people who take care of our veterans. They are the people that take care of our seniors. They deliver our Social Security checks on time. They keep our food and water safe, and they protect us at airports and from natural disasters. So let's be very clear. Working families deserve better. We demand better in this precise moment. You deserve a budget that defends health care, not cuts it. You deserve a government that protects science, safety, and public health. We have to stop the lawless impoundment of congressional appropriated funds and return the funding of essential programs. And look, let's be very clear. Donald Trump, Noam, Hexas, and all those criminals in office, they want to use their power to try to break our spirit. But here with federal workers, here in the city of Chicago, in our downtown, we know something very clear. That the people united will never be defeated. Divided and defeated, both. that our solidarity standing here today is evidence that we will continue to hold the line. We will continue to fight for each other because we are the legacy of those who fought for the right to protest, to form unions, to realize the 8-hour workday, and to affirm our inherent dignity and worth of all people. And we know that power concedes nothing without a fight. And we, as your delegation, in partnership with the governor, in partnership with you, and with our community organizations, are going to continue to hold the line and fight like hell for our federal workers, fight like hell for our working families, for our communities, because this fight is worth fighting for. So let me end with this. We are going to lean in what we know, that we keep each other safe, that when we organize, when we practice solidarity, when develop systems of community defense, we will win against fascism. We will hold the line. We will make sure that the government reopens, restoring healthcare, restoring collective bargaining rights, and making sure that the American people are at the center, not billionaire bosses. And we're going to do that together. Because here's the thing that I want you to take with you and ingrain in your soul. That when we organize, that when we have collective solidarity, when we see each other, instead of allowing them to divide us, we win collectively. And we will win this fight for the American people. We will restore bargaining rights for our federal workers. And we will make sure that working families are at the center of everything we do. Let's do it together.
Hey,
right.
we know him.
Very well said. All right. We have our next speaker is Representative Lauren Underwood.
Thank you, Jason. I came downtown today to stand with the federal workers assembled behind me because once I was one of you. At the beginning of my career, I was a federal worker at the Department of Health and Human Services, and I too was furloughed for several weeks. And I understand that shutdowns are not casual, they are not harmless, they are not convenient, they are not easy. Shutdowns represent a tragedy, a complete breakdown of the system. And we find ourselves at this moment when we have House Republicans, Senate Republicans, and Donald Trump standing on the side of billionaires and selling out working people, selling out working people's health care. And we are in this fight with these federal workers behind us saying not on our watch. So I want to thank these federal workers for their commitment, for their expertise, for their persistence and diligence and dedication to showing up every day in the face of Speaker Mike Johnson, Leader John Thune, and Donald Trump expressing uncertainty about their own willingness to follow federal law and pay these workers. It is unacceptable. But what we know for sure is that Donald Trump has made it clear he believes he is above the law in all circumstances. But we are saying not on our watch. And so I'm so happy to be here with my colleagues from the Congressional delegation to stand in solidarity with these federal workers to demand that they do get paid, to demand that working people have affordable health care, and to demand that all of our communities are safe. Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, and these Republicans are out of control trying to come into our city, come into our state, and try to intimidate Illinoisans. We are saying not on our watch. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for being with us in this fight. And we will be together, united till the very end.
The next speaker is Representative Danny Davis.
Danny Davis. Wow.
Thank you very much. You know, I've been told that a people united will never be defeated. A people united will never be defeated. A people united will never be defeated. So I'm glad to be here with the governor of our great state, with the best delegation in Washington, D.C., that is the Illinois Democrats. You may note, as the dean of the delegation, that half of all the Democrats in the state of Illinois in Congress are here today.
Yes.
Right here, all of us united, knowing that people who work need to work. Government employees need to work. You still have to go to the grocery store. You still have to go to the gas station. You still must live. So I join with all of my colleagues that I just love working with, because I know where they are, who they are, and what they stand for. You can't do any better than what you've got in the Illinois delegates, and let's make sure that Donald Trump and all of our colleagues know that hell no, backwards we won't go.
J.B. Pritzker's still over there.
I love that.
That's why some of the media went over there.
The next speaker is Representative Jan Schakowsky.
Yeah, Jan.
I am so proud to be a union member myself. And I am so glad to be with you. We're going to keep fighting, because when we fight, we win! When we fight, we win! Let's do it.
I just want to close with this last message for everybody, for those that are here, for those at home watching. I want you to know, if you haven't been engaged in this fight, now is your time to get engaged.
Now's the time.
If you're here talking, you need to talk to your friends, talk to your families, and let them know that if we sit by and do nothing, our democracy will no longer exist. Get involved, get engaged, organize, mobilize. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks everybody here. J.B. Pritzker's still talking here. So we're at the Federal Plaza here, Chicago, Illinois. So he's talking. He's talking with his constituents here. J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. There he is.
Can you give us some room?
No, there's Governor Illinois. Oh, no, I'm backing up. There he is. So here's, we'll see what he has to say here. So J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois. You get out?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Here we go. Here's J.B. Pritzker. He's going to make a statement here. Can you get out?
It's been around. Well, I guess we'll just curious. Appreciate it. Sure. Sure, and what kind of a country are we living in where the President of the United States is targeting his political opponents? I mean, that is the world that we're living in now, where he is calling out. He said he was going to jail Gavin Newsom. He says he's going to jail me. He says he's going to jail the mayor of the city of Chicago. These are people who stand against him, disagree with him, speak out about it, but literally have done nothing wrong. We are doing people's business by standing up for them. I've said over and over again, the federal government has not communicated with our state in any way whatsoever about city in the United States. That is what we're talking about. We're getting no information from them. They willy-nilly run over people's rights, pulling people out of their houses. They're asking them for proof of citizenship because they're brown or black. That is, a country that I don't think any of us should accept. And the president of Chicago.
How do you feel about homicides? You say you're doing everything you can. What is happening?
Right, well, I know that reporters ask this question in part because you'd like me to say that we're going to blow weapons. And the reality is that we're going to hold people responsible. last thing we're doing is making sure people know their rights so they don't get picked up and shouldn't get picked up. And we want them, when they're afraid especially, we want them to be able to protect themselves. Second, we are making sure that the people in the neighborhoods know that there are people they can call for help. Remember, there are young children going to school and not knowing if their parents are home. I went to an elementary school, third graders worried about whether their homes were empty because ICE is coming to take them away. And by the way, they take away not just undocumented, they take away U.S. citizens, detain them. It's not right, and we all should be speaking out.
Governor, if everybody rules tomorrow, if they rule against what the National Guard doesn't all of it to an extent, they continue to deploy, even if they're multiple sentences.
Look, we would enforce a judicial so that's why we were here. This is a great country. This is a democracy still. We have to keep it. And we all have to stand up for it. So it's looking forward to last one here, last one here, last one here.
Hey, that's J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. Hey, you got a good spot. You saw him come over here. He was over there, and I saw all the media go over here. That's Paris from the local news there. Yeah, how you doing there? Well, Ernie, yeah, we got that's some amazing footage here. How you doing there? How you doing, sir? Yeah, J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. Look at all the media here, and there's What do you think? What do you think of this is amazing the amount of politicians we got here. We're just on. He's on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. And look at all this media here. That's good. That's good. So here, let's keep on going here. So hey, what? That's some heavy hitters. Yeah. Chewy Garcia. J.B. Pritzker. I didn't know the governor was going to be here.
I didn't know either.
I was like, Oh, this is Brian really Chicago.
Was the mayor here of Chicago?
No, Mayor Johnson. Yeah, it was just the governor. Yeah, I didn't see Brandon Johnson. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, I think even the media was surprised that the governor was here because they all went over there. So, hey, if you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're at the Federal Plaza here where the Calder statue is. See, these are all federal workers, and that's some of the people that spoke because of the unions, and they're showing how they'll be affected by the shutdown. Thanks for coming here and covering it.
Yeah, no problem. I'm surprised you made it here in time.
Well, I left 10 minutes early.
Oh, okay.
And it's good that I did because they started right at noon, and then we saw the governor. And so you can watch Ernie, we'll both have reruns of this. I don't know if the audio, you probably picked up the audio better.
Yeah, I kind of got it, but...
I could actually film your screen. I could see JB on your phone, and I was filming him. So I had the comments off the whole time. Thanks, mods. Thanks for dealing with that. And so I guess I'm just going to head back to the office. I'll see you at 5.
I'm going to walk towards the park and then I'll...
Good. Yeah, let's go to the park there. We'll head past the Bean here. But I'll try to get out of work at 5. I'll try to get out earlier than yesterday. Right downhill. We'll show you where it's going to be at.
You want to meet up at the park like last night?
Yeah.
Again?
We can meet at the Bean after. I'll let you know when I'm leaving work there. Okay. And it should be like 5:05.
It's a beautiful day.
Oh yeah, the weather's not bad here. We're on. This is Adams Street. We just we were at Dearborn and Adams. That's where the Federal Police. You can see the Sears Tower there.
Yeah, there it is.
And hey, yeah, taco jalapeno salsa. Thanks for moderating. Everybody else, Margie, number 1 Big Mac there. Thanks for. I missed all the comments because I turned them off. But Chris, thanks for being on. Anita, everybody. If I missed anybody there, thanks everybody. Michael, all the Michaels. Yeah, here's Burkhoff's. German
You eat
restaurant.
right here or no?
Oh yeah, I don't eat here often, but yeah, they had Oktoberfest. They got the German food. You know how this has the #1 liquor license?
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Yeah, it's right there. What time we got here? 12:44. Yeah, I better get back to work.
Oh, Shauna says hi.
Hey, Shauna, thanks for watching. That's great. Yeah. See, we got total coverage. We got YouTube. We got TikTok. Somebody from Sunday reached out to me, and I said we're going to cover this, and I don't know, they might text you or something. I said I'm doing it on YouTube.
I'm doing it.
And you're doing it on TikTok.
Yeah. But I still post on YouTube.
That's good, yeah, because I saw Darren Monroe posted that. That's what you were going over there, and that's to film that. That's good.
Yeah.
There's it. They took some of the skeletons down. This morning I saw somebody knocked the heads off of them. Somebody, people were probably drunk and they said, "Oh, let's steal the heads," and they thought it was funny, and so they took them down. But there is some up this way.
Oh, that sucks.
Beckett, how you doing there? Yeah, city under siege. Well, you see how we're banding together. Chicagoans are supporting each other because nothing will not unite people coming from outside trying to tell us how to run our local jurisdiction here. You wouldn't like it if it happened to you either. You wouldn't want a bunch of liberals from Chicago coming to your town telling you what to do. Let us have our own. What works for us. Big cities got special challenges. We all know.
Next time I get to the subway, I won't put tomatoes on it.
Oh yeah, tomatoes. That's fine. No, that's I can eat tomatoes. I'm just picky.
I don't like tomatoes.
No, I don't like them either. That's good.
The
Yeah.
thing is, I feel like they're just like a fruit with water. That's it. Or
that's it. Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah. To me, it just makes the sandwich sloppy and wet and mushy. And I like it crisp. I'd rather have onions and lettuce. Yeah. Ernie bought me a Subway one time. I appreciate that. Yeah. So hey. Nah, it's not working. Well, the federal government's not working. The local government's not working. What are we gonna do? We got to self-reliance. We're all governments unto ourselves. The economy of one. Yeah, we're at Monroe and State Street. There's the Palmer House Hilton, State Street. You want to go over to the park?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. We'll go over here. We'll cross here, State. So did you watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show, or you just saw some clips? Yeah, it's a long movie. It gets old. When it first came out, like it bombed, and no one understood it, and then it became like a cult classic because people they like singing along with the songs, and then they started like throwing stuff at the screen.
I saw almost like close to that scene right there.
Yeah. And those songs get stuck in your head. It was all supposed to be like a parody of like a bad science fiction movie with like a horror movie, but they combined all that sexuality, and then they got all those musics, and they said it even like influenced like punk rock, like because it came out in 1975, and they dyed their hair in some of the fashion, and some of the punk rock like in British, like Sex Pistols and stuff, they started dressing like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, like fishnets.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, it's so funny. And dyed hair. They would dye their hair.
Oh, Brian, was that the firehouse that in Bryant Park, or? Was
yeah, you sent me that. Yeah. So they mainly used that one in Bryant Park. Danny, our friend Dan, they did use the one in Chinatown. They used several fire stations, but mainly they used the one in Brighton Park that you found, and then they used some other firehouses there on the southwest side. And I guess they did use Chinatown for one of it. See, Ron Howard made that movie. He was the director. Ron Howard, he was Opie from Mayberry there, the Andy Griffith Show. But now he's more known now as being a movie director and producer. Ron Howard.
I saw a Bronx Tale yesterday.
Oh, that's another good movie. Oh yeah, they show how Bronx and the Italian Americans there in the Bronx and how they fought that biker gang, and again they came from they're just defending their home turf. It's good. Hey, look underneath the train tracks here. Yeah, Wabash. We're heading over to Millennium Park.
Right between two train stations.
Yep. But isn't it amazing how when I first moved to this city, I was amazed, like, here goes the train, there's the brown line. So, way back in 2003, when Ernie was a little baby, that same Federal Plaza where we were just at, just like today, I walked over there because I was angry about the Iraq War, and it was after 9/11, and a lot of people protested against the Iraq War. I show up to the Federal Plaza. I was, just like today, we were starstruck that the governor was there. Yeah. At that time, Jesse Jackson was there. Jesse Jackson was there, and it was before the age of live stream. And I don't even think I had a phone, but I think the phones at that time, they didn't even have good cameras, and so I didn't even record it. And so I was like, "There's Jesse Jackson," and I was, you know who was who was standing next to him? And this is in 2003, before he was the senator of Illinois, before he was president of the United States. Barack Obama was standing at the Federal Plaza, and me, like a dummy, he gave up and gave a speech. I didn't even know who he was because it was 2003. It was before he was known, and he was just a state senator.
So you saw Barack Obama?
I saw Barack Obama. I was as close as we were to J.B. Pritzker and all those people speaking today. I was that close to Jesse Jackson Jr. and Barack Obama before he was president, and that's when I first knew who he was. And can you believe? Who would have thought? 5 years later, he would have been president of the United States. That's crazy. Somebody named Barack Hussein Obama. Isn't that amazing? And that shows America has amazing possibility and potential, but America also has a dark side, and we're always playing the good off the dark and forces. And here we're getting across the street here. Yeah, they're honking at us. Michigan Avenue.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I wish, that's before I don't even have a photo, like a dummy, but I remember that, and there was a lot of protests. So now this is the latest protest. There's always something that we always we're always trying to improve things, however we can, just by participating in whatever little way we can, because we don't want mass thugs going through our neighborhoods. Just you see how people are running them out. Yeah. Did you see that car that was attacked in the parking lot? They busted out the windows of the ice car. Yeah. And there's Chicago Athletic Association. Hey, look at all the portalets. Oh, follow that. I bet that's for the marathon. Oh yeah. The marathon. They're going to set up. Yeah, there'll be a bunch of portalets.
They already closed down parts of Grand Park.
Yeah, Grand Park. Yeah. They're going to. That's where the start-finish line. The Chicago Marathon's on Sunday. I'll be covering it up by Fullerton.
I'm still deciding if I'm down here or Pilsen.
Yeah, there's
multiple places to film it.
Yeah, it goes to the north side, it goes to the west side, it goes to the south side, and it starts and finishes in Grant Park here. So here we got 12:52. We'll just cruise by the Bean, and then I'm going to head back to work. So I'll see you after 5, but I'm not leaving yet. I'll go.
Good afternoon, Daddy.
Yeah, a few other people told me they were coming down with a cold. Steve Lyons says he has a sore throat. He was gonna. I don't want to divulge his situation. I mean, he'll get over that. I said, breast up, man, because he wanted to cover the Cubs game today. But I said, no, don't be sick and make it worse. Because you could wear yourself out live streaming.
Nick, he's sick.
He's sick. Yeah. I saw he live stream again though. Yeah. So he's still live streaming. That's good. That was good. We hung out with Overtime Seb there on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, Sunday, yeah.
Hey, look, there's the Pittsfield building. Yeah. There's the old Montgomery Wards here. There's the Great Bean of Chicago there. Look at that. Man, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for witnessing real life here, real historic events. Yeah.
Wait, so when you saw Barack Obama, he didn't have gray hair, right?
No, he was young then. He was young and skinny, and he was probably in his 30s then.
I have a question. Was he your height or was he taller?
He's tall, but he's tall, but he's skinny. Okay. But he's muscular, but he's like fit,
Because I only saw Michelle Obama when I was 8 years old.
Oh, okay.
And I was at the convention center.
Yeah.
there was like, she was doing a speech over there.
Yeah.
And I was like 8 years old. My school took me for a field trip, and I saw Michelle Obama. I shook her hand, and Mary Manuel's.
Oh, that's good.
But I didn't see Barack Obama because he was at the White House at that time.
Michelle and Barack got married at the South Shore Cultural Center on 71st in the lake. You go there, there's pictures. J City Walking Girl in Hyde Park. There's a plaque where they had their first kiss, and it's by the Valois restaurant on 53rd or 55th.
Okay.
There's a restaurant there. It's like a cafeteria. That's what Jay has filmed that several times.
Yeah, Jason, see, this is the South Side a lot.
Oh yeah. Which is good. That's what we got, real Chicago live streamers covering all sides of the city. We try to do the same, but we only be one place at one time. No matter where you go, there's somewhere else to go. But since we're downtown, a lot of stuff happens here, like what we saw today.
David Pritzker, he just came out.
I know. Everybody was like, they did it on purpose because they didn't want to telegraph it.
Yeah.
And anytime you're at a thing like, you're like, man, you know, looking around.
I saw, but he was right, like, not next to me, but he was like a few feet
yeah, because he came from you. You were on the other side. He came right from behind you.
Cut that out when he was right almost next
and we were so close that his security were like telling us to back up. Yeah, because we were too close to him. But hey, so hey, we're the news. We're news reporters now. We get press pass. Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks, mods. Thanks for and we had a lot of people tuning in there. We'll cut out the clips there, and
we got a lot of work to do.
Oh, see now, I can't even. I can't. I got Halloween decorations. People said hello. We got all these politicians and governors and good speakers. Yeah. They said that one person saw the footage that we filmed on Sunday, and they showed up to volunteer. So we got one more person to show up for or volunteer for the organization Resist Fascism. So,
okay, nice.
So at least we got one person. Yeah.
We're doing our job.
Yeah. Yeah, Naya here. Hey, Taco, thanks for being on there. Yeah, we'll be on after 5 tonight. We'll see what's happening. So this one tonight, it's against ICE, right? It's an anti-ICE.
Yeah. The troops.
The troops, yeah. The federal troops being brought in from Texas until Thursday. The judge won't rule until Thursday. So supposedly, do you see any Texas National Guard? Let us know. I don't know where they're at. People are asking. Maybe they're just sitting in a warehouse somewhere or in the back of a truck. Hey, we're crossing Randolph. There's Michigan. Yeah, we'll go by. I saw, when I was in North Carolina, I saw you were here when they opened the Rainbow Cone. And they were in the window there. Yeah. I was at a truck stop eating like Wendy's, and I was like, Ernie's right. They opened it up.
You saw that the workers were saying hello.
Yeah, to me? Yeah, they were training them. I think. Yeah.
One of them said hello to me.
That's good. That's good press. Yeah. Advertise the business. There's never been a restaurant here. They built this. There was supposed to be a restaurant. No restaurant is going in here.
That is Rainbow Cone.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you like?
What's the Palmer House? I don't know. See, someone asked me if I ever went to the South Side. I got 300 videos of the South Side there. Check out my reruns. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
The one with all the colors.
Yeah. Oh, the sherbet. That's the true Rainbow Cone, right?
Yeah.
So I know they got one where Gino's East is up on Superior, and then they got this one, which is just open.
Yeah.
Here's the Garrett's Popcorn. People were asking about that later. Yeah. And Lids is the hat store. Bubblicious.
Brian.
Oh, it captcha. See, YouTube doesn't make you do that. Yeah, TikTok makes you do a captcha. So many times I would be like, you miss it. One time I didn't see it. It turned off my live.
You know, this is the first time I got it in like 2 weeks. I haven't gotten it in 2 weeks.
Usually, it's when you stream for over an hour, but it randomly pops up. Look at the little bird. Look at the little bird.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, see, somebody left their plate there, and the bird's like, wow, this is a feast there. Yeah, see the bird sitting in the chair, getting the Nutella. The bird's eating Nutella. Yeah, so here, Nando's.
All right, we'll split up right here. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to check out the Prudential Plaza.
So, hey, watch Ernie. He's on TikTok. He's going to go over to Prudential. And I'll see you later. I'll see you after 5. Okay, that's good. So that's Ernie Chicago Nuggies. Follow him on TikTok. And he's also on YouTube, but he's still streaming on TikTok, which is good. So I'm going to sign off. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for the Federal Plaza there. We got the speakers. And thanks, mods. You guys did great. I turned the comments off. I was just focusing on trying to cover it there. And we'll be on after 5 tonight, and then we'll head up and look for more Halloween decorations after the protest, okay? And the Cubs game's at 4:08. It'll be going on when we get out of work there, so we'll see what the score is. Go Cubs. And we'll see you later there from Chicago. Yeah, thanks, everybody. Talk to you later. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day here from Chicago. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. You can check out the full rerun there on YouTube. I'll post the clips to TikTok. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, mods. You guys are great. Oh, I almost got hit by a bus.